and welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Corner. On this episode and the next episodes to follow, we're going to focus on building your farm area with a good database. Now, today we'll focus on Remine and how that can help you make a great list for your farming database. In the following episodes, we'll focus on how we're going to execute it, what kind of marketing designs we can create, and how we can contact these customers based on the information that Remine provides us. So our next episodes, we will go over Canva for marketing design, and then we'll go over MailChimp for email marketing. So today in Remine, what I first need you to do before we get into the video is think about your ideal customer. Now, this might be just a buyer or a seller, or you might have something more specific. Do you like to work a certain property type? Do you like to work a certain price range? Or do you like to work investors, first-time home buyers? Do you like to convert renters into buyers? What type of person do you like to work with best? So go ahead, pause this video and write down your identifiers for your favorite. Okay, now that you've gone ahead and done that, I want you to focus on that list as we go through Remine. You can choose all of these specifics in the demographics. They keep it so that you're within equal rights housing law and we don't discriminate, but you can choose and eliminate people down to what is going to be your ideal customer or what type of person is ready to purchase or sell, so that you're not wasting postcards or emails or any of your time on customers that aren't going anywhere. So let's dive into Remine and cover some hot tips on how to best make your database so that you can go after these people while you're doing social distancing.
Once you are logged into your association dashboard, you'll want to go to the Remine logo right here. Clicking that, it'll bring you to your Remine dashboard. Now, each person's might look a little different depending on what you've worked on and what listings you have, but most importantly, what we're going to focus on is this search button right here. Now, as the map loads, you'll see running along the left-hand side, there are lots of search options. You'll have your cart, which is also viewed over here, but you can search by property value, home equity, which is how much equity they believe the homeowner has, which the more equity, the more likely to sell, right? Ownership time. Here in our area, people typically move on an average of every 5 years. So you don't want somebody who just purchased a house. They're probably not going anywhere. Their sellability score. This is based on a lot of different factors that Remine has pulled into their database to figure out, based on their activities, who's going to be selling soon. Absentee owners, they can tell if somebody has renters or if it's vacant and the owner is somewhere else based on their mailing addresses. Scrolling down, we also have flood zone risk, which is great when you're searching for your buyers, but you might not need this for your database. Building type, if you like to work condos or single-family homes or anything specifically. Land use, if it's with Airbnb. Its mortgage rate percentage. Higher rates might want to sell, or lower rates could have more equity. The mortgage age. And lastly, we have last sale price. Distressed deals, if that's something that you like to work with. Cash buyers, and CLS. So, you can put a lot of your demographics into these different sections. Now, some of these sections might not be available to you. Some of these search abilities, such as absentee owners, are only with the Pro, which costs per month. But you do have a couple of options. If you do want to use these, you can sign up for 1 month. There's no contract. You can export everything you need for your database and then unsubscribe and only have to pay for a month, work that whole database, maybe do it once a year, once a quarter. They really don't have any rules, which is what's great about Remine and not having contracts. Or if you're with Jones & Company, give JJ a call. She's got the upgraded version and she'll let you look around for a little bit and figure out what other benefits you can have by signing up for that monthly charge. So we're going to run an example to find my best database that I'm going to want to market to in my farming area. So my ideal customer lives in Cape Coral, so I am going to zoom in here, and I'm not going to draw my demographics just yet because I want to first identify what their demographic is. So my ideal customer is Sally Seller, who has a good amount of equity in her home. So you can see here are the ranges, or you could type in your own ranges. So I am going to put in here that she has at least 100,000, and we're not going to put any max. So you can see here once you start typing, these will adjust so that you can choose a certain range. And as you start to select, you're going to see these pockets pop up of how many are in each area, so we can start to focus in on neighborhoods. Ownership time. Like I said earlier, people usually move when they've been there after 5 years, so I don't want anybody who's only been there for 0 to 5 years. I'm going to choose these ranges, all up to what your demographic is, what your opinion, and what your stats are. So I'm not going to focus so much on absentee owners because I'm not very interested in whether they're an investor or not an investor, but I do want to focus on at least a medium to high sellability score. And you can see as we choose each one of these, our results are updating regularly. Now, how many results you want to narrow down to is going to be based on how much money you want to spend mailing and postage, and how much time you want to spend with trying to get each person. Now, I like to work the single family homes in Cape Coral, so I'm just going to choose single family homes. If you're not comfortable with condos, you don't have to do condos. If you love condos and you only want to work condos, then you can choose those. But my Sally Seller is somebody who's ready to move, who has good equity, who's confident in their move because they have enough money to move, and they're in a single family home, which is what I'm comfortable representing. Now, we could add more, but I'm going to keep it easy for you guys. I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to choose something from each of these and continue to narrow down, you can. Now, what we're going to do next is choose what area specifically we want to focus on. Because as you can see right now, we're at 2,545 results. That's a lot of people to mail to and a lot of people to focus on. So let's go ahead and choose a specific area. Now, as you can see on the side here, you've got different drawing tools. So you can do a circle, a square, or a polygon. It works much like MLS. So I'm going to focus in on the yacht club area. Make sure my drawing tool isn't on just yet. And you can see the more you move the map around, the more your results will shrink as you zoom in or expand as you zoom out. So if you wanted to, you wouldn't have to use the drawing tool. And let's say I just were to calculate these people who are near the water. I have 276 results within my map right now. So if you really wanted to narrow it down and just do like these 40 properties, we could draw a border around here by using the map tool. And just simply going along the border, drawing our circle. Now typically I like to do more than 40 people, but for this example we're just going to use these 40 people. So as I complete my shape, you can see here it breaks out the neighborhoods further, and it looks like I expanded a little bit. So I've got 67 results just right within the yacht club community. So once we have our shape drawn the way that we want it, and we have the amount of results that we want in our demographic and our farming area that we desire, we're going to go ahead and click Select All so that it selects all of the thumbnails running along the right hand side. Once we've done that, we're going to click Cart, and we're going to create a cart name. So I'm going to go ahead and label this one Yacht Club. And we're going to add 67 properties to our cart. And it'll let you know, success, properties have been added to the yacht club. So we can come over here to our carts. Once we open our cart, we can see here that our whole list of 67 properties has been uploaded. Now you can see here there can be other lists in your cart, and you can continue to farm other areas if you have multiple areas or maybe multiple condo communities, whatever it is that you're going after. And you can section them out so that you can be very specific with your marketing and branding. Now, once you have your list here, you can go ahead and export the properties that you've selected. So we can select all of them and we can export them. When this pops up, you can see that it wants to know what we want included in our Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to keep it all selected right now, which is something that you'll want to do if you're only signing up for a month and then canceling. You want to get as much information as possible. Now, include contact information is very important because if you have the upgraded program, you can get things like emails and phone numbers if they're associated with that property. And that'll be very important because you can't get that if you have the unpaid free program provided by our association. So if you're paying for a month, that's what you're really paying for. You want to make sure you have that contact information on your Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to keep everything checked off and I'm going to name my file for the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to call it my Yacht Club list. And you want to make sure that you don't put any spaces in here. It doesn't allow any spaces or punctuation because this is going to be a file name. Once you've named it, then you're going to go ahead and click Export. And this will save to your computer. Now, I have a Mac, so it's going to save for me down here in my downloads. If you're working on Chrome, it most likely will show up in a download bar here, or any Windows computer, you can go to your downloads file once it's done downloading and go ahead and open that Excel spreadsheet and continue to use that sheet to market to people. Now, as I said, in our next coming Quarantine Corner videos, we're going to go over Canva, which will help you market to these people, postcards, flyers, different things. And then we're also going to go over MailChimp, which if you've got the pro version and you've gained all those emails, it's a great way to contact these people, especially during quarantine and social distancing. So we're going to cover how to use that and how to send mass mailing through email systems. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little tutorial on Remine. There's a lot more to dive into, so check out your local association for the next upcoming classes on how to best use this free program provided by our association. Or give us a call at Jones & Co. Realty if you have any further questions.